and hired our Aunt Margot as her wedding planner. Have you ever outsmarted someone who thought they had all the power? My cousin Jen was getting married and hired our Aunt Margot as her wedding planner. She charged Jen triple the normal rate because family discount is tacky, but refused to listen to anything the bride actually wanted. When Jen picked a gorgeous venue by the lake with natural lighting, Margot accidentally put down a non-refundable deposit at her country club instead. 2 weeks before the wedding, Jen called me crying. She's taking over everything. Mom says I should be grateful for her help, but this isn't my wedding anymore. I've always been the family fixer, so I promised to help. I volunteered to help Margot with some last-minute details, which really meant spying on her operation. The moment I walked into her home office, I saw the mood boards. Not Jen's original soft blues and silvers, but Margot's signature burgundy and gold color scheme that matched her living room. 2 days before the wedding, I overheard Margot on the phone with the florist saying, "Of course it'll be my centerpieces. The bride doesn't know what she wants. I've been planning events since before she was born." That's when I remembered something crucial. Margot was severely allergic to lavender, like throat closing, hospital trip allergic. She made everyone throw away lavender candles at Christmas 3 years ago and nearly sued a restaurant over their hand soap once. I told Jen to stop fighting with Margot. Just smile and nod. I've got this. The morning of the wedding, I arrived at the venue at 6 a.m., 3 hours before the staff and 5 hours before Margot. The security guard was my old high school friend who owed me a favor. He let me in to drop off some personal items for the bride. Just as I expected, Margot had already set up her vision. Every table had these massive, gaudy centerpieces. They were exactly what Jen had specifically said she didn't want. I had come prepared with backup decorations, simple arrangements of white hydrangeas, just like in Jen's original Pinterest board. I didn't replace anything yet. That would tip off Margot too early. Instead, I stashed them in the venue's cooler marked "Mother of Bride Corsages. Do not touch." When Margot arrived, she was in full commander mode, headset on, clipboard in hand, yelling at the catering staff about appetizer placement. I approached with a gift, a special corsage and wedding director sash I'd had custom made. "To thank you for everything," I said with the biggest fake smile of my life. What Margot didn't know, I had carefully tucked a few sprigs of dried lavender into the back of the corsage where she wouldn't see them. Not enough to cause a serious reaction, just enough to make her extremely uncomfortable. During the ceremony, I watched Margot from across the aisle. First came the sniffles, which she dismissed as wedding emotions. By the time Jen and her new husband kissed, Margot's eyes were watering uncontrollably. As guests moved to the reception, her face developed those familiar blotchy patches. She cornered me by the bathroom, eyes red and puffy. "Something's wrong. I think it's an allergic reaction. You should go home and take a Benadryl," I suggested innocently. "I can handle things here." "Absolutely not," she snapped, though her voice was getting raspy. "This is my vision coming to life." But by the time the first course was served, Margot was sneezing every 30 seconds. The mother of the groom, a nurse, took one look at her and insisted she go home before her throat started closing. Margot finally admitted defeat and left, handing me her clipboard. "Just for tonight." The second her car pulled away, I sprang into action. "Now!" I texted my cousins who were waiting. We replaced every single one of Margot's monstrous centerpieces with Jen's simple, elegant arrangements. The photographer, who I'd explained the situation to, made sure to only take reception photos after our switch. 3 weeks later, when the wedding photos arrived, Margot was furious that none of her vision was captured in the reception shots. Jen just smiled and said, "I guess the photos show what was meant to be." Have you ever outsmarted someone who thought they had all